Hello and welcome. So this is our first tutorial for our prayer shawl ministry of mindful stitchery. In this video, I'm going to teach you the absolute basics of crochet to get you started. What you're going to need is a hook, some yarn, scissors, and a darning needle. Mine are in this little case thing. So when you're picking your hook and yarn, just go to the craft store. You can get yarn at Walmart, Hobby Lobby, Michael's, Joann's, online. I actually got this a Tuesday morning, so it's kind of everywhere. When you're getting your yarn, you want to look at the size. So this is medium weight yarn, same as this that we're going to be working with. A 4 is medium, 5 and 6 are bulky. Anything smaller than 4 is not really what we want for our prayer shawl ministry at this time. So I'm just gonna recommend avoiding that, especially if you're a beginner, because it just is gonna mean more work and it's gonna take longer. Next thing you're gonna want to look at after you've picked your yarn and you've made sure it's the right size is this little box right here, the one with the crochet hook in it. And it's gonna tell you what size hook you need. So if you're just getting started and you just want to buy one hook, I recommend getting the hook that the yarn company says is best for that yarn. So for this one, size 4, this company says a 5mm or a US H or 8. So the yarn that we're going to be working with is just yarn that I got from like a grab bag of someone's stash off Facebook. It's all their scraps. It's a worsted weight yarn, and the hook that I'm using is actually a size 7, so it's a 4.5mm, but my 8 is currently being used on a baby blanket. So we're gonna make do with what we have here. So let's get started. Some things you need to know. The yarn that's attached to the ball or your cake or your skein or whatever it is that you're working from is called the working yarn. The yarn on the other side is the tail. So we're going to start with a slip knot. Almost, I believe. I have yet to find a crochet project that doesn't. So we're going to say all crochet projects start with a slip knot. The way I make my slip knots, lay the yarn across my index and my ring finger with the working yarn over the top, the tail over the bottom, and I grab from the working yarn, wrap it over my fingers and make an X. And then I turn my fingers over, hold the yarn steady, come up through the front yarn, pick up the yarn in the back, and pull a loop. So for those of you that need to see it a couple times, let's try it again. Got our working yarn over the top. I'm going to put our fingers out, hold the rest of the yarn over here if you'd like, wrap it around, making an X, turn your fingers over, under the first, grab the second, and pull tight. And now you should have a loop and a knot and 2 strings attached. And you're going to then take your hook, stick it in your loop, and pull. And now you're ready to begin. I am right-handed, so I always start with my tail closest to me. I made this tail really long. I usually keep it about 6 inches. So I keep my tail on the bottom, my working yarn on the top. To hold my yarn, I slip my finger under, grab the rest of the working yarn with the rest of my fingers, pinch with these 2, and then I'll use my thumb and my ring finger to manage the yarn this way. When I'm holding my hook, I hold mine like a butter knife. That's what's most comfortable for me. There are people that crochet holding it like a pencil. I just can't quite figure out how to do that. So butter knife it is. And I use my index finger on my right hand that's holding the hook. And I almost always have it on this yarn here to make sure that I get the right size. If you look at your crochet hook, it's narrower towards the hook and fatter as you get closer to the handle. If you don't pull the yarn down, your yarn will not become the size that you want it to. It'll be too narrow, which will make your stitches too tight and can wreak havoc on your project. So just make sure that you're always using the shaft of the hook to get your gauge. Okay, so we've got our yarn, finger, grab, finger, finger, doo-doo. Okay, we're ready. Step one, or I guess step two, we've made our slip knot. Now we're going to chain. So using my thumb and ring finger to manage the hook, my index finger on the yarn that's on my hook, I'm going to yarn over. A yarn over simply means pick up your yarn. I go from underneath, like down, back, under, got it? Yarn over. And then you just simply pull through. And that is one chain. We're going to do this 10 more times. Yarn over, pull through, 2, yarn over, pull through, 3, yarn over, 4, yarn over, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now, if you're doing it right, you should have a series of V's. Each V counts as a chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's harder to see the one closest to the hook, but it's there. So now we're going to start with our first row, which is just going to be single crochet. This is the shorter of the stitches. We're going to go into the second chain from our hook. So in the top arm of the V. So we have our first chain, go to our second chain, and we're going to just push our hook through like that. And yarn over, pull through 1, so you're just pulling the yarn through the bar of the chain, and then yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, if you need it again, our next chain, the top bar, put your hook in, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, and continue. Next chain, stick your hook in, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, and just going to practice that to the end of the row. Nice and slow, take your time. Top bar of the chain, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, top bar of the chain, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, 2. Sorry, my ball's got a mind of its own here. And just finish up the row with our single crochet. Now, if you'll remember, we had chained 11, right? But we started in our second chain from the hook. So we're only going to have 10 stitches. So that means we left one chain unused. And that's just for height purposes. you don't want, it's going to make it just difficult if you don't have that chain on the end to allow yourself to come up to your next row. So for one single crochet, recommend one turning chain. That's the one that we left. Now the next row we're going to do is a half double crochet. So for that one, we're going to start with a chain 2 to get us up to the height. So we still haven't turned our work. Just yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. We've created 2 new chains. Now we're going to turn our work. So really quick, you can see that we've created V's on the top of our stitch that looked a lot like our chains. So each stitch has 2 bars at the top of it. So now moving forward, for the purposes of this sample, we're going to put our hook through both chains now that or both bars of the V now that we have moved on past our chain row. So if you turn your work, you can kind of pull and see where the hole is under those 2 V's. So for a half double crochet, you're going to yarn over before you stick your hook through. So you yarned over, controlling the yarn with your index finger. Push your hook through under both stitches. Yarn over, pull through both of those stitches, but not through the 2 that are on your hook. Then you're going to yarn over and pull through all 3. Again, going to yarn over, put our hook through the hole, going under both bars of the V. Yarn over, come back, pulling our yarn only through the V. Yarn over, pull through all 3. Again, yarn over, hook through the V, yarn over, pull through 3. Insert your hook. Oh, no, I'm sorry, yarn over, insert your hook, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 3. And you're just going to do that stitch to the end of the row, just practicing our half double. So yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 3. Yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 3. Yarn over, go under both arms of the V, pull through 1, pull through 3. Yarn over, pick up the yarn, yarn over, pull through 3. Yarn over. And now you're on the last stitch at the end, and it's going to be a little squished because, you know, we had that chain, but it's still there. So we're going to yarn over and stick our hook through. You should be able to confirm the V there. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 3. And that, my friends, is a half double crochet. So we have a row of singles and a row of half doubles, row of singles and half doubles. So we're just getting, the stitches are just getting taller as we go. The single, like we said, is the shortest. Half double is the next. The third stitch we're going to learn is called a double crochet. So we've just finished our half double, and we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3 to get to the height of our double crochet. We're going to turn our work. So this one's a lot like the half double, but it's a whole double. So it's the same as far as starting. You yarn over, push your hook through the hole, going under both arms of the V, yarn over, pull it back, This time you're going to yarn over and pull through 2, stopping at the 3rd, come up, yarn over, pull through 2. This is where your index finger is really important because it helps you control what your hook and yarn, how your hook and yarn are interacting. So again, we're going to yarn over before we stick our hook into the stitch. Use your finger to hold the yarn. Go into the little hole under the V, go through both arms of the V, pick up your yarn like you did in the last row. This time you're going to yarn over, pull through 2, stopping short of the 3rd one, and then yarn over, pull through 2. Again, yarn over, insert hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And just practice to the end. This one is one of my favorites simply because it's taller and faster, and I like it. It just seems to make the project go faster. So again, yarn over, insert hook, yarn over, bring it back, yarn over, take off 2, yarn over, take off 2. A lot of the prayer shawl stitches that I have in mind to share are double crochet, like I said, because it's bigger. And while I want us to spend a lot of time in prayer while we're making the shawls, I don't want us to spend forever on the shawl itself. So again, we're at the end where it's kind of wonky. You just got to find your V. You may need to help it stand up a little bit. Yarn over, find your hole, and continue. And so the average prayer shawl can take like 20 hours, which sounds like a lot, because it is. But it doesn't have to take that long, especially if we use bigger stitches, maybe bigger yarn, bigger hooks, things go faster. Speed is not the purpose, but if you are a beginner, I don't want you to be overwhelmed by the idea of spending forever on a shawl. So we're going to use big stitches that will create the shawl quicker without it being complicated. And that way you can really focus on your prayer with the shawl. So we've done 3 rows. We've had our single crochet, our half double crochet, and our double. Flipping it back over. Single, half, double. They're kind of hard to see. This blue might not have been the best. I just really liked it. But I definitely couldn't use white. So here we are. Okay, last stitch I want to show you is the treble. So we're going to chain up 4. Might be overdoing it, but that's okay. Want to get to the right height. So we chained up 4, turn our work. This time we're going to yarn over twice. 1, 2, insert hook, yarn over, take off 2, yarn over, take off 2, yarn over, take off 2. So it's basically the same as the double, except for you wrap twice. So you insert, bring it back, take off 2, take off 2, take off 2, yarn over twice, insert hook, yarn over, take off 2, take off 2, take off 2. This stitch is even better because it goes even faster. However, I tend to forget the double yarn over. So that's why I lean more towards the double crochet, just because I don't know, it's just more natural for me. So I can hear a baby crying. It sounds like it's time for Mom to go back and help Dad with bedtime. But we're gonna finish this little sample real quick. So again, yarn over twice for the treble, insert hook under both bars of the V, yarn over, pick up 1, yarn over, take off 2, yarn over, take off 2, yarn over, take off 2, and just finish your row like that. This is just a quick practice sample, help you get to know your stitches. We're not making anything here except for a little swatch of fabric to help you get the hang of things. You can chain more. Obviously, you can do whatever you want with this. This is just practice to get you started. The beautiful thing about when you're finished with crochet, you just grab your scissors once you've done your last stitch, leave yourself about 6 inches, snip your yarn, and then just pull, and voila. And then you're going to use your needle, sew in your seams, and you're done. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments box below.